I've been thinking a lot about purpose over the past couple of days and how important that is, because I think a lot of pain and anxiety comes from lack of purpose or doing something that is against your purpose. It's going kind of against what your true nature is. I also think finding your purpose is one of the most difficult things to do. Like if you were to ask people, what's your purpose in life? I think they would look at you like, most people would look at you like you're mad. I think they would look at you like you've lost it. I think we have ingrained in us a certain set of behaviours from when we were really young, right? You grow up, you go to school, you go to college, you go to university, you get a job, and you continue doing that job for 40, 50 years, or a series of jobs over 40, 50 years. Then you retire and use the money that you put aside in a pension to live off until you die. And we are wired to think that the stuff we want to do, the stuff we want to spend all of our time doing, starts when you retire from the job. So we spend most of our time doing something. Most people don't enjoy their jobs. Most people, and maybe it's changing this generation. Like, I enjoyed my last job up to a point. I enjoyed elements of it, but I didn't enjoy the people I was working for, and much of what they did went against my better nature. But maybe this generation is different. But for a long time, you got a job, and you stuck with that job for your whole career, and then you left. And most people hated it. Most people lived for the weekend. Most people just wanted to get to that Friday afternoon and then, do whatever, go to the pub, and they would use their weekends would be the time that they got to do the things they wanted to do. 2 days out of 7 you would do the things that you wanted to do. And one of those days, the Sunday, you'd be dreading the Monday. Now I think if you know what your purpose is, if you know like your core purpose, what am I here for? What is it that I am being placed on earth to do? Is it to make art? Is it to make music? Is it to make people laugh? Is it to make films? Is it to write? What is it? What is the purpose? What at your core are you like desperate to get to? And then what you discover is when you find your purpose that it's difficult in a completely different way. It's difficult for a whole bunch of different reasons. You don't have the stresses and strains of people saying you must do this or you must do that. You don't have a boss. But you're so intrinsically tied to whatever it is you're making that it's like, putting it out into the world feels like releasing one of your children from the safety of their home. It feels like you're letting something out that's delicate and fragile and you love it, but you're scared for it and you want to protect it. And then you have this whole period of learning your craft. Right, let's take marketing, for example, which is what I did before I started making content. I spent probably between 10 and 15 years learning and doing marketing day in and day out. I was a bit of a nerd. I'm quite obsessive with things. So I was reading books and listening to podcasts on the weekend. So, almost 7 days a week, at least 7 hours a day, I was working in marketing. I was doing it day in and day out. Now it's very hard. You have to actively work against getting good at something when you're working at it for that amount of time. You should be able to get good at anything if you dedicate yourself to it on that basis. So I started, when I was 20 and I finished when I was 35 in marketing. So 15 years of like day in and day out doing marketing. I got really good at it. Got really good at the job that I did, and I progressed really well, and I made a lot of money. Relatively a lot of money for myself. And then I've stopped that, and it's like, right, I've got to accept that to get to the same level, you know, this is not a craft. Making videos, making films, making content, it's not a craft that is built overnight. Even if I work 7 hours a day, if I compare it to the marketing stuff, I was working 7 hours a day, 7 days a week. So 15 years to get to the level that I got to. So even though this is my purpose, it's still hard and it's still scary, and there's still lots of emotional things, there's still lots of financial things, there's still lots of, you know, things that block you in your way. But I think once you know your purpose, dealing with that discomfort, dealing with that pain gets easier because you've got a reason to do it. When you go to a job that you don't like, you're like, why am I doing this? I'm just doing this because it's a fucking salary. My problem was I couldn't not care about the work. I couldn't not care about the people that I worked with. I couldn't not care about the work that I was doing. So even though I wanted to just go in, I'm just doing this for the salary, I'll just go in, do my job and then leave, I cared too much, which caused me problems. And it's the same with this now. I've got to accept that even though I've known my purpose, right, which I think is to communicate with people like you, is to make things that entertain people. I think that's my purpose. Even though I know that's my purpose, it's still challenging. It's still daunting to look and go, gosh, this might be 15 years before I get to a level where I'm really good at this, I'm proficient at this. But anyway, purpose is important. So if you don't know what your purpose is, start trying to find it. What brings you joy? What brings the people around you joy? What I did is I looked over all of the elements of my life and thought, where are the moments that I've been happiest? And it's always when I was serving other people. It's always when I was entertaining other people, cooking for other people, making other people laugh, doing stand-up comedy, presenting events, running panels. It was always about, you know, bringing some kind of emotion to other people, joy, happiness, laughter. And that's what I'm trying to do now, is more of that. So what's your purpose? Why are you here? What have you been sent to Earth to do, to achieve? And what are the challenges that are stopping you? What's the things blocking you from doing that? Anyway, the weather is fucking beautiful. It's still chilly, but this sun is absolutely phenomenal. I'm gonna go home and have some lunch. Workouts done today, ice baths done today, taking a little work, breaking in my new boots. And we're gonna go home and have some lunch. All right, see you guys on the next one.